Good morning, friends. I am very glad to meet you, and you have joined me in this session, which is of subject bookkeeping and accountancy. In bookkeeping and accountancy, the first chapter of 12th standard is given, that introduction to partnership firm and final accounts of it. Introduction, you need not to introduce with it. You have to read, you have to understand the features of the partnership firm now, because the partnership firm in previous year also we have studied about the concept. Now in this year we are going to into the depth of this partnership firm. Prior to that, we must understand the partnership firm is a the definition of partnership firm, we can say when two or more persons comes together and form a business, legal business, lawful business, and carried some activities with together for the purpose of earning profit. Now there is some features what we can withdraw, we can come to know by this definition of partnership firm, which is a simple one that I have told you just now. The meaning is when two or more persons comes together and form a legal business, start the business, undertake the activities, the business is conducted, managed, controlled cordially by all the partners. Yes, I am telling you what? Partners. The word is very important, partners. Why? Because when persons comes together, they agree something and they become the partners in the eyes of the law, in the eyes of the act. Which act? The Partnership, Indian Partnership Act 1932. We are going to into the depth of it also. Prior to that, we must understand what are the features of partnership firm. The features of partnership firm are given as it is given in the board, on the board. The first feature of the partnership firm is agreement. As I told you, they have to agree with them, with each other, that the agreement is necessary. Agreement is in two forms, oral form or written form. Might be in two forms, any of them. Oral form, that orally they will decide some objectives of the firm, they will decide the provisions of the firm, and they will come together, undertake the business and start the business, just like a orally conversation, and then their business. In written form also the agreement can be done. So what agreement which is in written form made by the partners, what the terminology is given to you for that written agreement is partnership deed. Is what? Partnership deed. The written agreement between the partners, simple meaning of it is the written agreement between the partners is called as partnership deed, where all necessary contents of the partners are already given, partnership, their relations are already given, and they are in written form. Now what contents of partnership firms or partnership deed that we can quote? The first is the name and address of the firm. Name and address of all partners, their duties, the duties of partners, responsibilities of partners, the liability of partners. As I told you that responsibility word, right word, these are the two functions of management. As you might have heard, authority and responsibility go hand in hand. When right is given, the also responsibility given to that particular person. In the same way, the responsibilities, rights and duties are provided to the partners, and that duties, responsibility, that right are mentioned in a written form in your partnership deed. After that, what necessary things legally they are required, documentarily they are required, that all are given in partnership deed. Their sharing of profits and losses. Profits and losses sharing ratio is also mentioned in the partnership deed. There is also given the rights and duties, profits and losses ratio. After that, the required legal restrictions, their duties, these all are mentioned in the topic, in that partnership deed. If it is silent about that, then they have to take the help of provisions of the act. Then that will be sufficient to follow the rules and regulations of the act. Then next feature that we will come to, again the features. This concept is very important, partnership deed. And after number two is number of partners. If it is mentioned in the definition that two or more persons or number of persons are required for forming a partnership firm, so there must be something given in the act, how many partners maximum or minimum are required. So there is a provision provided minimum 2 persons and maximum 50 persons can be a partner in the partnership firm. Number 3, lawful business. The business of the firm should be lawful, legal. You know the word legal very nice. The meaning of that, word is which is given by the, allowed by that particular jurisdiction of that country, that state, which is legal. If it is not in that legal boundings, then it will be not a lawful business. Unlawful business prohibited in the partnership firm, to form the partnership firm. Next is sharing profits and losses. The profit and losses of the business is shared among the all partners according to the ratio provided by the partnership deed. According to that ratio they will share their profits, or if they have suffered from losses, if they have to bear the losses, they have to equally, or as per the provisions of the partnership deed, they will share it. After that, unlimited liability. This is one of the very important feature, that unlimited liability. Unlimited liability means the liability of the partner is unlimited towards the partnership firm. When business is closed down, dissolved, shut down, completely wind up, at that moment when the assets of the firm are sold out, and if they are not sufficient to pay off the liabilities of the firm, then from their own pockets, from the partners' own pocket, they need to pay the amount of liabilities of the business. That means business assets are not sufficient to pay off the business liabilities. That time the partners need to pay the amount from their own personal assets. For example, I will tell you, if the business is closed down and there are suppose two partners, X and Y, these are supposed to be names of them, X and Y person. They came together, they have done business, but there is a dispute between them. They decided to dissolve the partnership firm. They decided supposed to be to close down the business. So at that time, they have to decide, and accordingly the business will be dissolved if their assets, they have sold out, and they got amount of rupees supposed to be 5 lakh. After selling assets, whatever that may be, building, machinery, their own cash balance, business, bank balance, bank account, that all they have cleared, and they got amount of 5 lakh rupees. And the business liability is supposed to be of rupees 10 lakh. Then what will happen? How they can pay the liabilities of the business? 5 lakh is just amount of assets, and they have to pay, they have to mitigate the liability of 10 lakh rupees. How they will mitigate that liability? They have to pay the less amount from their own pocket, that is rupees 5 lakh. These two partners have to pay 5 lakh rupees from their own pocket, from their own personal assets. That is the meaning of unlimited liability. Two more things are given there. They are jointly liable and severally liable. That means they have to jointly pay off that liabilities. They have to jointly pay off that whatever the obligations of the business to that outsiders. I am telling you what? Outsiders. Firstly, outsiders need to be paid. Remember that. You have to remember it, because further in some chapters, some topics, you have to recall these things. That outsider liabilities, third party liabilities, we also can say it. Third party liabilities are needed to be paid. And that's why these important features are already provided in this partnership firm. Then next is the registration. Registration of partnership firm, remember that, is optional. What is the word? Optional in India. That means it is may be registered, firm may be registered or not may be registered. But it is also given, it is a compulsory, but there is a but. It is a compulsory to be registered in state of Maharashtra. In state of Maharashtra, it is compulsory to be registered in state of Maharashtra only. In other states, it is not necessary to be registered. So where it is to be registered? The partnership firm, where it is to be registered? It is registered to the Register of Partnership Firm. Also, I will tell you an interesting fact that the Partnership Act which is prepared is under the governance of our Ministry of Corporate Affairs. They also give the amendments, changes in the Partnership Act. So these are the things about registration. Registration is optional but compulsory in the state of Maharashtra. Then joint ownership and management. The assets of the business are jointly owned by the, or property whatever may be, that jointly owned by the all partners, and the management is also in the hands of all partners. So jointly managed and owned. Principal and agent. Next feature is what? Eighth feature we are on, the principal and agent. The relation between the partners is like a principal and agent. They are like a principal to the outsiders. They are owner of the that particular firm. That's why they are principal called as. Then agent. Agent, they are representative for each other. Supposed to be whatever the decisions have to be taken in absence of some partner, that time the some remaining partners will take that decision, can take that decision. That is a relation, that principal and agent. I hope that you understood this concept. Principal are the for outsiders, agent for among themselves. Dissolution. The firm's dissolution, maybe it possible that there may be a disputes between the partners. The partners that as you know, it is human tendency. If somebody is working or somebody is not working, not contributing in the partnership firm, in the management, in the decision taking, or whatever may be, at that time, because of these reasons, or many partners died or 2 or 3 partners died out of the partnership firm, it may be possible the further running of that partnership firm is not possible. At that time, the firm is dissolved. In Marathi, we can say it is Visarjan Karne. That means to dissolve the business of the firm. Next, these are the features. I hope you understood all the features. If you have the doubts, you can get it cleared from me. Then we will come to the next part, next important part of this partnership firm. The first provisions of the act. What is the next part? The provisions of the act. As I told you, the act given for this partnership firm is Indian Partnership Act 1932, which is effected from that year only. The provisions of that act are followed from that year only. It is old one act which is provided by our ministry. So these act provisions, these are the 6 provisions only, because in detail we cannot go, in depth we cannot go for it as per the textbook. These are the 6 provisions which are very important in point of your view, students' view. The first provision is distribution of profits. It is given that in the act, the distribution of profits among the partners is as per the provisions made in the partnership deed. If the partnership deed is silent about it, the partnership deed is silent about it, about the distribution of profits or losses, at that time the profit is distributed equally by all the partners. Number 2, interest on drawings. The interest on drawings is charged. I am telling you what charged, not provided. Interest on drawings is charged as per the provisions of the partnership deed. If the date of withdrawal, date of drawings is not provided, at that time average 6 months interest will be charged to the partner's capital account, to the partner's capital account. Interest on partner's loan, it is also not provided in the act that how much interest should be charged. 6% is the rate of interest as per the provision, if it is not mentioned in partnership deed. So 6% will be charged as per the act. Next is the interest on capital. It is also not provided in the partnership act that interest on capital should be provided. These 2 things, salary and interest on capital, these 2 things are not provided in the act, but they said that, mentioned that in the act, that interest on capital will be provided if it is mentioned in partnership deed. Also, salary or commission to partners will be provided if it is mentioned in the partnership deed. If it is not mentioned, the partners will be not provided that remunerations, interest on drawings, interest on capital, and salary or commission to the partners. Then last thing is admission of new partner. The end of second subtopic, last provision, admission of a new partner. When the firm is running, developing, and they needs somewhat more developed to develop their own business, flourish their own business, they need somewhat capital, somewhat managerial skills. At that time, or goodwill, for these three things, admission is made for. Sixth provision is admission of new partner. The new partner is admitted for the three purposes. The first purpose is managerial skills, capital contribution, additional capital they must be required. So at that time, additional capital, if required by the firm, the new partner is admitted. And third thing is the goodwill of that particular person. If that particular person is having social value, respected person that might be, if he comes into the partnership firm, at that time the business of that partnership firm can be flourished, can be developed. For that purpose, for these three reasons, the new partner can be admitted. The new partner admitted by the consent of all partners. That is the provision. Consent is necessary for the admitting a new partner. If that partner is admitted at that time, it must be the consent of all partners. And then we conclude this topic with the last subtopic, that is methods of maintaining capital accounts. Now we are turning a little bit to the practical part of this introduction to partnership firm final account, this first chapter, that methods of maintaining capital accounts. How the partners capital accounts are maintained by the partnership firm are fixed capital method or fluctuating capital method. These are two methods given there. The fixed capital method suggests that the capital balances of the partners will remain constant, fixed. They will not change. And the adjustment related to that capital account, partners capital account, will be effected in the current account. So we need to maintain two accounts under that system, fixed capital account system, that is a partners capital account in which capital will remain fixed, and number two, second account is a partners current account, where all adjustments, regular adjustments, year by year adjustments will be effected in this partner's current account. So you will ask that question, the question may arise in your mind, that why the capital account is maintained then? The capital amount is fixed, we will directly effect in the balance sheet. There is a reason. Why? Because in some year, if new partner is admitted, he will bring some capital, additional capital. He can bring some asset, building might be there. He will construct, he will give his own building, that is a capital contribution. He will provide some cash as a capital to the business. So that contribution is treated as a capital, additional capital for the business, and that time we have to give this effect to the partner's capital account. Rather than we need not to be change these capital account balances. After that, second method is provided to you, that fluctuating capital method. The fluctuating, the name only suggests that fluctuate, that means change in something. The capital balances will be changed year by year because of the changes, every year's adjustments or transactions related to the partner's capital accounts. That all will be effected in this partner's capital account only. So we need to maintain partner's capital account only. We need not to maintain partner's current account in fluctuating capital method. We only need to maintain it in the partners, in the fixed capital method, the two accounts, fixed partners capital account and partners current account, and in fluctuating capital method only partners capital account is need to be maintained. The format of this we will learn, we will study in the next lecture, and that's the end of this important session. Thank you.